Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're reviewing Against the Ice on Netflix. Directed by Peter Flinth and starring Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, Joe Cole and Charles Dance. Against the Ice is based on the historical true story of a Danish explorer by the name of Captain Einar Mikkelsen. He travelled across Greenland to disprove an American claim to it. Before we go any further though, could you be a dear? Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really does help me and the channel massively, and we thank you if you do. The locations in this film are pretty damn stunning. It was filmed in Greenland and it shows. It looks cold, but it also looks beautiful. It offers some stunning scenery and some great colour schemes, but it also recognises the very harsh realities of living out in these conditions. There was a good tension to this movie as well. I was, on the edge of my seat and hoping that everyone got out of it okay when things went wrong. And it doesn't always go tickety-boo. Some people and some animals get hurt in this movie. That did raise the stakes for me. And on that note, just a heads up for some of you, yes, dogs die in this movie. It is obviously movie dying, but some of you are going to find that uncomfortable to watch. I'm a dog lover. I wasn't crazy about it myself. I made sure to cover dear Frankie Boy's eyes when those moments came. But I do kind of applaud the movie for going there. Dogs are very often off the menu. You don't touch the dog. But not here. The dogs, yeah, the dogs get it. I thought the performances were okay. Nikolaj Coster-Waldau is doing what he does. It's nothing new. If anything, he's a little colder and a little harder to attach to than, the likes of Jaime Lannister. But it is grounded in that Jaime Lannister performance. And I just kind of wish this guy had more to his performances than that. The real standout for me was Joe Cole. A lot of you might know him from Peaky Blinders and from that Gangs of New York show. I didn't actually watch it, I just remember him being in the posters. But he does have a real track record of playing the gangster, the tough, all right mate, one of those characters. So to see him here was really nice. Real change of pace and some real responsibility to the role. Like, if he doesn't work, this film doesn't work. I thought he was fantastic. Really good work from Joe Cole here. I think he lifts the material massively. His soft nature really did bounce off quite nicely from Nikolaj Coster-Waldau's hard nature. And it did build a semblance of character and relationship between the two that the film did desperately need. I think it could have been done better. I could have been more attached to the pair and genuinely invested in them getting through to the finish line. But I have to appreciate the fact that they did it. They didn't just leave it for your imagination and go, oh yeah, it's not important. No, they recognised it was important and they gave it some attention. Fair play. My issue with this movie is actually a very strange issue to have with a movie, because my problem is that it just doesn't commit to being the spectacle that it so clearly could have been. This film just feels like it is screaming out to be epic, just huge in scope and scale and cost, and it just isn't. And therefore I feel like it's being undercut by itself. It's not doing itself full justice. The sets look great, the outfits look great. But let's go the whole hog, because that's about as historically accurate as we sort of really get here. We very much speak in modern day English and we have very generic, basic modern day soundtracks. The lighting is very modern day. It's just a strange blend that so much of it feels old-fashioned, and then there's so much of it that feels 21st century. I wish this film had just committed and really felt like a historical timepiece, that this was set in the 1500s or whenever the bloody hell people were doing this kind of Arctic exploration. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish that Robert Eggers made this. That's kind of the best way I could say it.
So something like that. I mean, not that, but that.
It also felt quite aimless after a while. The perils of the mission are all building and stacking up against their odds, and then suddenly they just aren't anymore. The film just sort of stops and stagnates and sits still for far too long with far too little going on. It's trying to fill its runtime with this madness storyline that I don't think is delivered well at all. It's as if the film just changes its aim about 40 minutes in, and rather than feeling natural, it kind of feels like a mistake, like it wasn't meant to happen. I sat there as an audience member thinking, okay, so what now? That's not great. I have heard someone call it the poor man's Revenant. I think that's harsh. It did make me laugh, but I do think it's harsh because I don't really think it's trying to be the Revenant. I guess what annoyed me was that it wasn't more like Revenant. This kind of felt like the Revenant meets the Lighthouse, but neither are done anywhere near as good. And so you kind of get this middle of the road version of it. I'm going to give Against the Ice a 7 out of 10. It's very nicely made. There's some stakes to it, at least to begin with, but it very quickly felt like it was starting to waste its own time. And as I previously mentioned, it's frustrating because you look at this movie and you just can't help but feel like a better director and a better cinematographer really would have brought this to life, and instead it isn't. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And please be sure to hit the comment section. What did you think of Against the Ice? Let me know in the comment section below. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.